Good morning, sweet friends. We're going to make some cream cheese grits today, and I've gone over this with you before, but some of you are still having questions, so I'm going to help you this morning, and we're going to do these things. All right, in this pot right here, I've got 12 tablespoons heaping of grits. And I keep them in a jar over here like this. This is my grits jar. And they are just grits in a bag. They are not, they're not instant grits or anything like that. They're just grits. That's all I know to say. I got them in a really big bag. It must be a 3-pound bag or something like that. And I put them in about, this is about maybe 6 cups of water, but the water really doesn't matter too much because we're going to cook them for a long time and we're going to cook them down. I put a whole stick of butter in here, which is melting right now, and this is salty butter. So I'm going to let this come to a boil. Okay, our grits have come to a hard boil. And so now when it does that, you want to turn it down to low. I mean, I'm going to turn mine down to 2, okay? When it comes to a hard boil, you want to turn it down to number 2. I've not put any salt or anything in it right this second, okay? I've not done that. I've just got it on number 2. Now, this is something very important that I'm fixed to tell y'all. You have to get you a spatula that is hard, that doesn't move easy. See, that one doesn't move easy. And so here's the reason. Grits will stick. So you cannot stir this with a spoon or something like that. You've got to have you a hard spatula, and every now and then come over here and stir it. Now we're going to cook this about 35 minutes, but you don't have to stir the whole time because we've got it on low. But you do want to come and check it and then scrape that bottom real good. And let those grits just cook, because grits, I had some people that are watching from other countries and they didn't know what grits were. Grits are dried corn. And somebody told me that Iowa, the state of Iowa, didn't even make grits. They didn't have a grits company. I said, what do you do with your grits? I mean, with your corn? Since they're the corn state. They said, we feed it to the hogs. Well, honey, these are so good with all kinds of things at night. You don't have to cook potatoes or rice or noodles at night. You can cook some grits with your fried chicken and your pork chops and your shrimp and grits. Grits are very versatile. They're a good starch. All right, so let's just continue to stir and let them cook for a while. About 10 minutes have passed, and you can see how the grits are getting thicker and thicker. And now I'm checking to see if it's sticking a little. This will be a little stick right over there on that side. Let me get him up. Every now and then just come back. See, I'm doing other things while I'm cooking my grits. I'm not just standing at this pot. Somebody said they're not standing at that pot for that long. Well, I'm not standing here. I'm fixing to wash some dishes over there while this is cooking. There's all kinds of things you can do while it's cooking. Just come over every now and then and give it a quick stir, darling. Okay, y'all, they're getting thicker. And so this is when they really want to stick. So I'm just taking my spatula. I'm turning on the opposite side. I'm not going like this. I'm turning it over and just gently scrape the bottom to make sure that all those grits on the bottom are coming up to the top. And it's getting thicker and thicker. Remember, we got one whole good stick of butter in here. If you're cooking for a real big crowd, you have this whole pot full. I'd put in 2 sticks. It's according to how many people are coming or how many people you're feeding. And if you're feeding cheese and if you're feeding shrimp and grits, you'll need more grits because they like a lot of grits on their plate. And then put the shrimp on top of it. This is why you've got to have a straight edge, stiff spatula. All right, I got it all up. See how they're getting real thick and good? Tender. And I'm over here doing something else, see, while this is cooking. I bet y'all know what I'm doing, don't you? All right, that's it. Let it sit there a little bit more now. Okay, now we're on our last step of the grits. And I came over here every now and then and I stirred them. Now I want you to look at how thick and pretty they are. Let me get a spoon. Here they are. Good grits. They're about that consistency right there. And it's this time that you put in some milk if you want it. You do not have to use milk, but you can. I'm going to put in a little milk just for flavor. It makes it taste good. You cannot put your milk in before this, and here's the reason. Milk scorches. Stir it around a little. Get your milk mixed in there real good. If your grits are too thick, you can add more milk. Mine aren't. They're just right. See how pretty they are? All right, now then, at the very last, this is when you add your cheese. If you add your cheese before, it's going to stick so bad you won't believe it. So wait till the grits are tender and done, and then add your cheese. I'm going to add a whole block of cheese today because I cooked a lot of grits. Or you can add a processed cheese. Or you can add sharp cheese, whatever kind of cheese you want to do. Now, here's how I do it. I pinch mine off like this. I've been letting this sit out the whole time that my grits have been cooking, so it's real soft. This kind of just gives it a jump start, okay? Pinch this off, and when it melts, and you taste it and see if it's got enough salt in it. You taste it and I'm going to put some salt in mine because I have not done it yet. But your butter was salty. This probably has a little salt in it. Let me wash my hands. They're so gooey. Boy, my grandmother loved cream cheese. Now, she loved it. She thought that was the cat's meow. All right, take your spoon. You don't have to use your spatula anymore. And start mixing that in. And every now and then, just come over here and stir it. It's still on low. I got it still on 2. Until your cream cheese is completely melted in there. You can break it up a little bit if you see a clump. It's getting really soft. Push it up against the edge. Mash it. And it's ready. Now, y'all listen. You need to make you some grits. They are so good. And they're good in the wintertime at night. I like to have breakfast at night. Do y'all like to do that? In the winter, just fry some eggs and some bacon and whatever. And have you some grits. That is a hearty supper in the cold winter time. But if you want to fry you a pork chop or some chicken, let me tell you this. If you fry your pork chop or your chicken, use that grease, whichever one you happen to fry, to make you some pork chop gravy or some chicken gravy. And when you get your little serving of grits on your plate, put gravy on top of it. That is so good. All right, that was your grits tutorial. And they are good. You don't remember. You don't have to cook potatoes, rice, or noodles at night. You can change it up. I love y'all. Are you already doing grits at night? I'd like to know. Have a great day, little babies. Y'all just get out and do some fun stuff. Enjoy your life. And remember, my last book is named Live Each Little Moment, y'all. Because today will be filled with little moments all day long. Love y'all. Bye-bye.